everyone. Welcome to another episode of GTV. And today I have another guest. And this person I actually met when he was looking for an events partner in the Philippines. So he is helping MDEC, which is Malaysian Digital Economy Corporation, right, Nino?
Correct.
Yeah, so this is my guest. His name is Nino Duque. Niño Duque. So hi Nino, how are you? It's been a long time.
Yeah. As shared and mentioned, I guess that was 3 years ago that we first met, no. And ever since I've grown, siguro leaps and bounds here sa IT industry, so to say, or yeah. And I'm glad. Thank you for guesting me today.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay, Nino, maybe you can tell us more about your role in MDEC. Like, what do you do? And it's a Malaysian, I believe that it's a Malaysian company, but you're Filipino, so how does that happen? Like, how
Yeah,
does
yeah. Thank you. So yeah, MDEC stands for Malaysian Digital Economy Corporation. Actually, it's not a company, but it is a government agency of Malaysia. So I
okay?
work for the government of Malaysia as their consultant here in the Philippines, and their mandate is really to promote their IT, ICT companies. Right now, I can say that we have about, I think, 17 companies that have uh, that already established themselves here in the Philippines. MDEC is almost 25 years already, but
Mhm.
me being their consultant and in the Philippines, I guess MDEC, well, it's been 3 years already with me. MDEC, I've been doing consulting work for them. And yeah, we have different types of companies, you name it. We got IoT, fintech, um, robotics, process automation. So, I really cannot grasp everything. So I try to learn each company's solution or platform. Imagine I try to manage 150 ICT companies that would want to, yes, that would want
It's a
to
lot.
do business. I know. So it's whenever anyone here would want to find an alternative solution to, like, usually companies or enterprises, conglomerates, they usually their requirements, or usually they use the solutions or platforms from the US, the UK, all
Yeah,
these Western
correct.
solutions, which really fetch for quite a hefty sum. So
Mhm.
what Malaysia does is all their companies under their wing, they have all these proprietary solutions, and of course, definitely being an alternative solution, it's cheaper.
All right.
I've seen companies, big data, or analytics software that would pit against the Western brands,
Mm-mm.
and they're 50% cheaper, really.
Wow.
So that's what I'm doing, is really bringing all these companies, trying to look for partners here in the Philippines that would want to resell their unique solutions,
Okay.
and or become customers themselves or users of the platforms or solutions from the companies of MDEC.
Wow, that's great, no? So I guess they also have like other niños and other representatives in other countries. Is that the case?
They do.
Yeah.
Yes. MDEX, like in all over in Asia,
Wow.
Indonesia, Thailand, Vietnam. So that's their mandate, really, to expand. Because if you look at Malaysia, they're actually a tech driven company, tech driven country.
Mm-mm.
They say that and this is taboo to them. They say that they're next to Singapore, but actually most of the companies and the technology that drives Singaporean companies come from Malaysia.
Yeah. Okay, so let's hear about what you're doing for the Philippines naman, Nino. I know that you
Okay.
mentioned it to me like briefly in a chat. So, and how does this connect with what you were doing before? So was it MDEC that inspired you to start your own tech startup?
Well, admittedly, I am kind of a serial entrepreneur. Ever since I was a kid, because my dad is a businessman, and I guess I got it from him. Early on, I kind of know how to draw, so I sold my drawings, my classmates,
Wow.
and then yeah, sooner or later, when all these things were, I mean, the advent of all the technology that's coming into us, uh, I guess you're part of the millennial movement, Ginger, no? But for me, it was the advent of the cell phone, the big cell phones from Smart and Globe. And I was at the cusp of technology, actually. So we are the generation in between. And having seen all these awesome things that you can do over the internet, over
Yeah.
usage of technology, I dabbled initially into Wi-Fi. So I went into business. It's actually Wi-Fi advertising. It was somewhat similar to if you're familiar with Francis Simisim.
Yeah.
Uh, he's kind of one of the earlier Wi-Fi advertisers here in the Philippines. So we were like not head to head. He was ahead of me, like
Mm.
eons ahead of me. But from that business, so it's all about really, I think, establishing a good business relationship with your customers and your clients. So,
Correct.
because one of my clients, she owns a coffee shop, so I installed my Wi-Fi advertising gadget, and yeah, we were churning out its lead generation. You don't need to ask for the password. It just shows you a splash page, and put you have to put your number, so
Yeah.
that's it, and then you get the free Wi-Fi. Yeah, so a lot of restaurants have this nowadays. So I was like the forefront before, but things weren't that much lucrative, so we
Mm.
closed shop. But having established good business relationships with your clients, this coffee shop owner also was into, or she's still into, uh, consulting. She
Okay.
does consulting for Malaysia as well. So that's where MDEC came
Oh
in. She just
wow.
referred me as, you want to really, it is a blessing. She just referred me, Nino, just try it out. They will interview. It's a panel interview over the internet. So wala pa tayong mga Zoom and whatnot. It was like over, I think,
Correct.
Messenger.
Yeah.
3 years or 4 years ago, it was over Messenger pa, or Skype. It was over
Skype.
Skype.
Yes.
So yeah, and then my journey with Malaysia, bringing the companies here, and like you mentioned, what's the connection? How come a Filipino is helping out all these Malaysian
Yeah.
companies? That was actually one of the questions of my interviewers in the panel. You're
Okay.
Filipino, why do you want to help out a Malaysian company? So I said, well, my of course it's a nationalistic kind of thing. When I would be able to connect a company and they can establish their office here, that brings jobs to Filipinos.
That's
So
true.
it's a
Correct.
part of one way for me to like help the economy. And fortunately, I was able to like onboard, I think, four companies along the 3 years. I know it's not that, big of a number, but at least we are bringing technology, all these unique platforms and solutions,
True.
cheaper ones, into the market. At
Yeah.
least gives right now, my target is actually uh, MSMEs,
Mm-mm.
because the solutions are really, really cheap and can be used by companies. I mean, of course, you're at the forefront, you and your husband with Taxumo. It's something like that. Something
Mm-mm.
like that. All these solutions that you bring down to the MSEs, SMEs, and it really helps everyone.
Yeah, and especially during these times, Nino, I guess like a lot of people are trying to hold on to what they have in terms of like being liquid, no? So, and
Yeah,
cash flow is a big thing. So, for you to survive or sustain a business, like really looking for the best deal is important.
it is. It is. It's we everyone is on survival mode right now.
Yeah.
That's why if you have a solution, an alternative that's cheaper and does the same thing, why get the expensive one?
Mm.
So yeah, that's what MDEC brings on the table. That's why I try to help all these companies, find a soft landing here in the Philippines, get connected, get their clients. Uh, Hopefully, I'm doing a good
Spread the
job.
word.
Still
Correct.
here,
Yeah.
spread
So
the word,
tell us
spread the word.
more about your
Yes.
startup, Nino.
Okay, okay. Yeah, I'm excited with my startup. So yeah, because I was like siguro I was bit with the tech bug, so to speak.
Yeah.
And again, I admit that I am late in the game in this IT industry. I've been reading your blogs, no? So,
Oh, thank you
uh,
so
I
much.
mean, yeah, yeah. So, I mean, being a ano ba ako? Uh, Gen X or I don't know, no, but
Yeah.
being one that that's still trying to cope up with the fast change, and it's snap of a finger, meron ng bagong solution. I'm still a baby in this tech startup, what you call it, but it all started from an idea, actually a selfish intention, because
Mm.
I live in DF Parañaque.
Okay.
And one of the pain points ever since is to find a tricycle, to,
Yeah.
to hail a tricycle. If you're familiar with DF being the largest subdivision in Asia, mind you, there are 68 villages inside. And for one to get a tricycle, one would need to go out, walk.
That's
If
true.
it's sa ilalim ng araw, I mean, if it's raining, when it's raining, I mean, would you, diba? Can you imagine if it's really heavy downpour and
Yeah.
you're trying to commute out and just the tricycle? So it's really a selfish intention of mine because ever since,
Mm.
hindi ka pa pinapanganak siguro, Ginger, nagko-commute na ako sa BF. And it started there. It actually started there. Just, I want to hail a tricycle
Okay.
because there's Grab, there's Uber. Why can't I do that?
Mm.
So that's one. And and then I did research. I actually spoke to the villagers. I spoke to village homeowners associations. I spoke to the federation, and they said, "Okay, sige, it looks good. Why not try it out?" And so I created an app,
Mm.
and we launched August 25 last year.
Okay.
Uh,
So
so
almost 1
it
year.
was exciting. Almost 1 year, yes, almost 1 year. And you know what? The app was siguro the reception
Mm.
was really uh, it was kind of, people were turned off.
Mm.
People were hesitant because when you see, when it's a unlike the bigger players, no, who have the money to spend on marketing,
Right.
whatnot, and research, no, which is really backed up by research. Mine was really just trying to find solutions to the pain points.
Mm.
And when it's community based, uh, the critique
Mm.
is harsher,
Mm.
and it's more personal. It's like syempre, it's a
Yeah.
community. Everybody knows each other, and there's, even in communities, there's politics. So the app was met with hesitation, resistance. you know uh, they were kind of, why are you getting information from me,
Mm.
security issues?
Okay.
So wow, I said, wow, I wasn't able to really launch it.
Mm.
So in the middle of everything, from August to like last quarter of last year,
Mm.
I shelved the project.
Okay.
I kind of put a stop to it and say, let's research again. There's a need for tricycle hailing. Yes. one. But there's also a need, and I found this, there's also an
Mm-mm.
opportunity to help the tricycle drivers.
Mm-mm.
Because, the tricycle drivers, they rent out their tricycles per day.
Mm-mm.
And they have a boundary that they pay every end of the day.
Wow, okay.
Yeah. Yeah. And would you believe this boundary? Uh, it's really hard for them to meet that quota
Mm-mm.
because they have to pay for the gas, they have to eat, they have to, and they try to, uh, their working hours are like 12 hours a day.
Mm-mm.
So just to meet the boundary and earn a little bit. And then when I rolled out and when I was teaching the tricycle drivers, I told them half of the duration you'd be
Mm-mm.
able to earn your keep and pay for your boundary fee.
Yeah.
Because
That's big.
there's a
That's
certain
huge.
process wherein it
Mm-mm.
is huge. But again, we're dealing with our brothers
Mm-mm.
who are really, let's say, uh, struggling or
Mm-mm.
who are not that privileged,
Mm-mm.
So there was for apps to really launch a certain community, and if you like deal with certain demographics,
Correct.
you really have to like budget, or sorry, put a time frame for conditioning, market
Mm-mm.
conditioning, uh, conditioning your partners. So I was saying, okay, never gave up on the idea because I really do believe that there's a market out there.
Yeah.
Actually, I have competitors. Well, there are groups that have launched this up north with the same name before. Well, they stuck with the name. That's why I kind of shifted
Had
mine.
to change. Yeah.
Uh, yes, I had to change mine to deviate from them. But they had the same idea. I think they're still working
Mm-mm.
well up north. But I saw the pain points as well dealing with the drivers.
Mm-mm.
It's not that easy to deal with tricycle drivers, even riders themselves.
Mm-mm.
So these were, the experience was like uh, daunting,
Yeah.
pero it's fulfilling because when it all just fell into place.
Mm-mm.
So last year last year we were doing tricycle hailing. We stopped the app and we just focus on, we gave out, no man, this is manual, Ginger. We
Okay.
gave out numbers, and they were calling us,
Yeah.
pasundo sa ganito, pasundo sa ganito. Okay, we were rolling, and then I just shut it. And then, of course, having worked with all these Kuya drivers, I kind of felt responsible to help them out during this pandemic.
Yeah.
So last March, everybody was, ano ba, we were all panicking.
Of
It was
course.
the
Yeah.
start of the ECQ. People were looking for food, and you you and I, siguro, we see all these groups that are raising funds for this group, raising
Correct.
funds for this community. And well, I took it upon myself to, I spoke with my batchmates and told them, hey, can we do a fundraiser for the tricycle drivers in BF Paranaque because they need it. So we were able to raise a good amount of money. But
Mm-mm.
when we were distributing it, I was so surprised because there were like 1,000 families. A huge, that like I said, BF Homes Paranaque is a huge. It's a city within a city, if you may so call it.
Mm-mm.
So I was saying, wow. So this money that we'll be giving to them, siguro hanggang tomorrow lang to.
Yeah.
So again, I was like, okay, I think we need to help them more. So remember the Confucius
Mm.
saying, or the Confucian, teach them to fish instead of
Mm-mm.
giving them fish.
Yeah.
So
Kasi
that was
there's a
my man.
limit diba? There's a limit to the
Yeah,
amount you can give. Yeah.
yes. So during the start of ECQ, there were deliveries inside BF, Grab, the other
Correct.
logistics of food delivery services were there. And it gave me an idea. I spoke with the federation, again with the homeowners association, got them to approve my proposal to convert all the tricycle drivers to delivery guys.
Mm.
And then so Parahero came about. So
Okay.
yeah, he as in hero because they are like our frontliners going out there buying groceries for the residents, buying medicine, buying the food and delivering to the house. So that's when things were like, wow, the growth was like 10x because just after, I think, 2 months, the big names already took notice of our initiative.
Mm-mm.
SM Super Malls called us, Mega World Lifestyle Mall
Wow.
called us, Robinsons called us, and
Amazing.
all of them were like, can you do deliveries for our malls? So right now, Para Hero does delivery. We do delivery for like I think 10 SM malls,
Mm.
and but the focus is just really to get tricycle drivers near these communities where SM malls are located and help them.
Correct. Yeah.
Yun muna, yun muna. Just help them as much as we can.
Mm-mm.
Um, and now it's an initiative that's I'm really happy with. We currently have a ongoing partnership with My Kuya.
Yeah.
We will be their choice or partner for delivery here in the south of Manila and hopefully southern Luzon. So that's a partnership ongoing. And like I said, it's all about my goal is really to give as many deliveries to each Kuya driver that we have.
That is so
So
great.
that's yeah. And I like I said, it's just it's just gonna double back. We just give out first, we give out first, and then uh, now my problem or now my issue is really scaling things up.
Scaling up. Yeah. Growth.
Yes, that's the growth because it just started with an initiative to help.
Mm-mm.
Now it's a business that needs to be professionalized. So that's where I am right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why I was like reaching out to you guys because you have been and I follow you guys.
Mm-mm.
I check up on what's happening in idea space, and I think I'd want that for myself and for my initiative. I'd like to learn. I'd like to be mentored. Maybe I'm doing something wrong. Because
Love it. Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
yeah, it's kind of a one man show,
Mm-mm.
but it's not just I'm not just harping on the connections or the possible VCs, but it's more on self growth,
Yeah.
learning from
True.
the experts, you know, and for me, well, I know I'm missing a lot. I'm eager to learn all these strategies. Uh, so yeah, that's why I'm trying to reach out to everyone.
That's
Uh,
nice.
Miss
Yeah.
Diane, hello.
You know what, Nino? It's so interesting because when you reached out to me through LinkedIn, I was so amazed that you created Parahero. No? So I said like, and it was so timely because I just had this conversation with Alvin Ang. So I don't know if you've seen that episode. No, the episode was really an interview with this economist called Alvin Ang, and he was telling me that what people should do right now, no, especially those without jobs, is to look at the problems within the community. So there are a lot of new problems that we are encountering now because of the different changes that happen, diba? When you look around you, things are
Yes,
different. Things are very different from how it was in 2019, and it's just what a
oh
few
my God,
months, right? A few months after December. So
correct.
yeah, so that's what you're actually doing, and I think you're on the right track because it's a pain that your community feels, no, at this point in time. Like, where do I get stuff? I get my products from malls to my home? And you're giving a lot of jobs to these tricycle drivers in your network right now. How many drivers do you have currently, like helping?
Okay, I think we're helping around 100 drivers already.
That's a lot. Yeah.
Yeah.
Imagine like really
Uh,
helping the families of these 100 drivers, right? And what I like
yes.
about what you mentioned, Nino, no, it's not about, it's like getting into the tech industry. People think that they're mature already, or they parang that has passed, that ship has sailed. But
Yeah.
really it's about knowing and trying, knowing that you should learn more, and knowing that you should develop yourself further, and really try to learn from others. When I started as well, I wasn't that young, no, when I started my tech startup. I was in my 30s as well, and that is not young when you start like a tech company in this day and age. Like most of the
Yes.
startup founders who started with us are really young, in their early 20s, mid 20s. So I like your attitude, that I hope will encourage a lot of our viewers now, that it isn't too late to start a tech startup company if you want at this point in time, and especially at this point in time when a lot of companies are trying to digitize their services, trying to look for a more digital solution to a need, diba? To a problem that they're trying to solve or address. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
So what are your
So,
plans, Nino? Like moving forward, like with Parahero?
well, right now it's really gearing towards becoming a social enterprise.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, Actually, we're already in partnership with SM Supermalls, and we have this baby project that we are helping out another sector that has, been neglected. I think the government and all of us, we look at certain sectors that need help, like automatically when you say, okay, no transportation, you'll say, kawawa the bus driver, kawawa the jeepney driver, and
Mm-mm.
the tricycle drivers, you know. But this pandemic also brought a lot of problems in other sectors. I guess you have kids,
Mm-mm.
and school is out.
Yeah.
So right now we are helping school bus operators get
Mm-hmm.
extra jobs for deliveries. And this is an initiative I have with SM Supermalls. So we're starting in the south, and hopefully this can grow and we can infect other supermalls in different areas to support also these school bus operators.
Yeah.
So Parahero is currently, uh, finalizing some mechanics and the pricing, which will be definitely lower than the usual logistic providers that have these types of vehicles.
Mm-mm.
But it's again helping out, you know, the
Yeah.
school buses
Yeah.
that used to, bring my kids as well to the schools. So they're
Yeah.
greatly affected because school won't be in until, I think next year.
That's true.
So
That's
that's
true.
so
Yeah.
that's what Parahero is right now. It's bringing more help into other sectors while doing partnerships. Before, I mean, we are still strong with our merchants acquisition, but we are looking for like-minded, individuals, companies, and partners who may see an opportunity to help out
Yeah.
if they have like delivery requirements. They can just reach out to Parahero. Definitely, it's going to help out our riders, and most probably the rates are cheaper than the usual.
Yeah, so that's why Nino is here, in this channel. So we guested him because I know that he has a good cause. So maybe something like, if malls or other establishments want to partner with you, this is the time to connect with you, to look for, to let's give jobs to all of these tricycle drivers, as well as it's not geographically ano naman, no, what do you call that, base. I mean, it's there in Parañaque. But if someone else wants to like seek your service for other places, you're open to that as well, right?
Yes, we actually have hubs already. We have a Manila hub that covers Santa Mesa,
Mm-hmm.
Manila City, Pasay. We have a Quezon City hub that covers Pasig, Quezon City, and San Juan. So we've got riders all over, and they're just waiting for more and more deliveries that we can
Yes.
give to them.
Yes, let's keep the ecosystem alive, no? Because I'm sure even the
Yeah.
restaurants, even those who sell like goods, they're looking for a way to
Yes.
send their goods and their food and all of these
Hmm.
things that they're
Hmm.
selling to the customers. So let's utilize this particular segment of society. And I like how you think
Correct.
when you mention like school bus operators. Yes, we never really like sort of it's they're not top of mind, right? When it comes to like
Yeah.
obviously when we
Yeah.
think of transportation, we think of the big ones like buses really and the taxis and the public
Yes.
transportation that we're used to. No, but we did. I like how you thought of helping the school bus operators too, because that's obviously a business that's not doing that well during these times. So,
Hmm.
Nino, I'm sure a lot of aspiring tech startups also would want to hear I well they heard your story, no, but maybe you can share like the top things that you learned or that you realized like entering
Okay.
this industry.
Okay. Uh, okay. You have to be brave. Number one. You have to find. Oh, it's always you have to be happy with what you're doing. And pivot. I mean, businesses can, go sideways in, as fast as you say, sideways or 60 seconds. But you have to learn how to pivot. That for me, it's still my favorite word or term to use for business is to pivot. So much so that if this is not happening, just try to find another direction. There are so many opportunities that's right in front of us. It may be uh, like for instance, I was just the
Mm,
core really is tricycle hailing, but uh, you know just be imaginative. If you're passionate, if you're happy with what you're doing, if you have a goal, really try to find the goal. Be brave, have a goal, and learn to pivot. I guess it's easy for me maybe because I've been in business for quite some time. Uh, a lot of ups and downs in business. But really, it's don't try to don't expect something different when you keep on doing the same thing.
yeah.
So try to pivot, try to find a different direction, and definitely when it's a different direction, it's a different destination,
Mm-mm.
right? So I think that's it. That's really my favorite thing. You know,
Mm-mm.
pivot, pivot, pivot. It doesn't matter if you are going to, uh, you have to you have to stop, launching your app, or if you want to, create another app on top of that app.
Yeah.
Mind you, I've been working with, I think, so many versions already, and yeah, it just try to find the next best, uh, I guess it's also listen to your target market
True.
always, and as in soak up anything, soak up all, try to learn as much as possible from books, from vlogs,
Mm,
from anyone who would say that they have, if they got 2 cents, I'll take all those cents and
true.
bunch it up and make it into millions. So as
Nice.
many cents as I can.
I love it. So, Nino, one last question. You've seen a lot of tech startups in Malaysia. What are the positive things that you've seen that they're doing that we can emulate here in the Philippines?
Oh, okay. Actually, startup division is really not my side of the
Oh,
fence,
okay. All
but
right. All right.
yeah, it's really enterprise that I bring here in the
Okay.
Philippines.
Yeah,
But
okay,
I
from that perspective, like seeing a lot of these enterprise solutions, and I think we also have a lot here in the Philippines. So what are the, like, what can you give, what advice can you give?
um well, uh people tend to fall in love with their solutions or platforms, no. I guess one has to like be ready to break it down into pieces so that one would be able to serve a certain segment of a market. uh Again, I guess what I've experienced with Malaysian companies is that, um I don't know, they really work very, very fast. I mean, deliverables, I guess the culture itself is sort of a, how do I say this? Goal oriented and less petics, less relaxed.
Yeah,
And well, again, you know, we have so many good enterprises here, so many solutions, so
yes,
many good startups, and it's good that uh, groups or organizations like Idea Space is here to help out these companies and businessmen. Uh, I guess we're on the right track
mm-mm.
because with Mid Malaysia, MDEC actually, um, I truly envy what our Malaysians brothers and sisters have with MDEC and their government giving out full support. This is a government agency giving out full support to uh, startups with just an iota of an idea, just a good idea, full support,
Wow, yeah.
promotion, bringing them to other countries, as in promoting them. That's what I'm doing here.
Mm.
Is yeah, it's very nurturing. So I guess to sum it all up, if which I see naman, we have Kubo, we
Mm-mm.
have the others, though. But maybe it's our government can help a
Yeah,
little bit more, then our startup industry really will thrive.
yeah. I've been seeing a lot of changes and a lot of help naman here in the government. So I think that's a very good idea, no? Like we constantly or continuously help each other, like the startup people, the private sector, and even the government, no? And I think, yeah, you're right. We're on the right track. And yeah, maybe in terms of skill, we have very skilled people in the Philippines. So maybe a little bit
Yes.
more on work on more professionalism, make
Yeah.
maybe like maybe what you mentioned in terms of like the quickness, no, it's maybe an
Yes.
offshoot of being very professional with dealings with their dealing with customers. So maybe a
Correct.
little bit more help on that. And I think a lot of a lot of the mentors and experts here in the Philippines can provide that guidance naman, diba, when it comes to being more professional and yeah, and maybe listening more to customers. So there, thank you so
Yeah.
much, Nino.
Yeah.
Nino, do you want to plug like where can they find you and what's the site of Parahero?
Yeah, thank you very much again, Ginger, for accommodating my request and guesting me.
No
Thank you
worries.
for listening to me. Uh, okay, just for Parahero, just visit us on Facebook. It's Parahero app. That's us. And you can message us on Messenger as well. It's parahero.app.ph.
Okay. All
Yeah,
right.
that's
So
it.
we'll
Thank you.
thank you so much, Nino, for guesting, agreeing to be my guest. And for the
Thank
links,
you.
we will put them on the show notes below so that you can click on them and check Parahero. For those who stayed, thank you so much for watching. If you like this video, please like, share, and subscribe to GTV and click on that notification bell for more videos like this. Thank you for joining us today. Bye.